So good morning, I'm Bray Patrick Lake. I'm the president of the PFO Research Foundation. And welcome to the First PFO Summit. So we thank all of you for taking time out of your busy schedules to be here. And on behalf of all PFO patients, we really appreciate the work that you've already done. We also want to express our gratitude to our sponsors. Without them, this day would not have been possible. Our sponsors are listed on the backs of our programs. And we also are really grateful to the Cardiovascular Research Foundation for hosting our event today. So the PFO Research Foundation is a patient organization that's supported by these medical advisors. Everybody's working on a volunteer basis, and we so appreciate what these folks in particular are doing to help change the field. And we really owe Dr. John Carroll a huge debt of gratitude for all the work he put into this event today. So here with us today, we have the executive committee of our board of directors. All of the people serving on the board of directors are patients. So that's myself. You'll see that we have David Dansero as our vice president. We have Peggy Mart, and we also have Charlie Ungashik. If you guys would go ahead and raise your hands within the audience and point yourselves out. As people fill in, we did have more than 300 people registered for this event, so that makes about one patient every 75 of you as we provide perspective throughout the day. So we do have just a handful of patients here, and we are a new organization. So we were formed in April of 2010, so literally 6 months ago. We were founded by patients with PFO, for patients with PFO, and our goals are advancing the PFO science and really improving patient care, and that's what all of you all have been invited here today to do. So how the organization came to be. So after being diagnosed with PFO, often following a life-altering event like a stroke, you're at a young age, all of a sudden you're suddenly paralyzed, and then you find out you have a PFO. We really head off to the internet to seek information about our condition and share the experiences with other patients. And sometimes this is really good. This is an actual patient post from our online group, and this is basically typifying the patient experience right now. You have an event, you see a neurologist, they order an echo, you find out you have a PFO, and then really what happens after that, it's kind of a mixed bag. So you might hear something about there's no definitive evidence to correlate PFOs. Please stay on your favorite fill-in-the-blank anticoagulant. Call me if you have a stroke. Sometimes we have people that want to put you in a clinical trial, and then sometimes people want to close your PFO over lunch tomorrow if you have that time in your schedule. So that's kind of good information. You can decide if this is bad information or not, but this is a true patient post. So this is what's being shared by patients. Now, I would say this is bad information, except for if anybody can get an IDE, get it past the IRB, I'm pretty sure we can enroll this trial. You can pick the secondary endpoint, make it stroke, make it PFO, make it migraine, whatever you make it. If the primary endpoint is investigational orgasm, we're going to fill the trial. So the board of directors, we connected on the internet, really in an effort to better understand our condition and really figure out what are the best treatment options for us. And that's not what we found. So basically what we found on the internet was a whole bunch of anecdotal information, best guesses, and a lack of consensus about our care. And we wondered, where's the evidence-based medicine for PFO? Where exactly is the data? There's hundreds of thousands of patients that we know have been affected by this condition and they've been treated. What happened to the information and the follow-up to those patients? Why don't we have this data and why isn't it being shared? So the board of directors connected on the internet because we felt very frustrated about what was available and what was not available. And we feel like as a patient, you cannot make an educated decision about your treatment if you don't have this information. And we started to wonder, do other patients feel the same way? So we decided that we would try to more formally capture the PFO patient experience. You'll find in your folder that you have a PFO patient survey. So we surveyed 226 patients really briefly before this event. Since we're a startup, we haven't had a lot of time. We did it over a 2-week period. 130 of those folks answered questions about their percutaneous closure. And something that was striking about this is that we were very overwhelmingly between the ages of 35 and 44. So these are the not so scientific questions that we decided to answer when we came up with this 43-page survey, does our care suck? If yes, how? Does our information suck? If yes, how? So here's what the patients had to say. 74% felt that discovering that they had a PFO had a major effect on the quality of their lives, and 65% of those people said that it really affected their families' lives as well. This might be my favorite. 72% said their doctor never talked to them about being in a clinical trial. 71% felt they needed more information after they left their appointment where they were diagnosed. 45% reported feeling confused, frustrated, or uncertain as they made their treatment decision. That is something that we can get a good start on changing that today. 29% felt they didn't receive unbiased information about their condition. So patients need answers. I'm not going to go through the statistics because we've got the leading experts here today in the field to provide these for you and to discuss the latest research. But basically we have a condition that's very poorly understood, and it affects our quality of life, and it also imposes an incredible economic burden that you're also going to hear more about today. But today is a day of change. We're moving past the energy of frustration with this field. When we formed this organization, I literally spent a year talking to people who've been working in this field forever, and some of them felt that it was too damaged to fix, and I really don't believe that, and I don't think you would have come here today if you believed that as well. So if we can collaborate and share our information, and if we can come up with a way to invest some resources in investigating this condition, I really believe we can make forward progress. Where we have come from has got to change. We can't just wait for venture capitalists to invest in new medical devices in order to have our conditions studied. So you guys are here today to actually provide input, not just to sit in your chairs and hear a bunch of lectures. When we leave here, we really want to have a concerted effort to improve patient care. So how would we do that? You can help us come up with definitive scientific information, and this could actually help us generate some practical guidelines of care for patients. We could work on better informed consent. About half the patients that have had their PFO closed off-label didn't know that no FDA-approved device for PFO closure existed at this time. So through that, we could limit the variability of practice. And I also think we can take some credible steps to advance the science today. We need to start sharing our information better. We can learn from the past, but we've got to be open to new ideas. And today we are going to go forward. It's not just a meeting where we've all gotten together and we've had a great time. We are actually going to develop new initiatives when you leave here today. So I've said it, you've heard it. It's not just a day of lectures. We're going to have some breakout sessions. We're going to be able to brainstorm. You all are going to have the opportunity to provide input, but you can also provide input throughout the day. So how will that happen? Does everybody have their cell phone with them? I'm sure you do. Okay, so we're working with a service called whisper.com where during the day, if somebody's up here and talking, you can dial or send a text to 303-500-8595. This is inside your folder. If you look on the pocket to the right when you open it, anytime during the day, you can text that number and then please enter. Follow the example, otherwise we will not get your information. 888-736-2447. Take a space. Give us a rating between 1 and 5, take a space, and then write whatever you want. If you decide you've got more to say than 160 characters, you can talk to me later and I'll give you a way to log in. All of this will go into a master record. Some of this may be shared later today. I will check in and see if you've actually used it. If you've used the service and you have things to say, we can share that. If you don't use it, obviously we won't. And if anybody types something like, you know, great speaker, ugly dress, we're not sharing the information. So we really, really appreciate your time. Again, we're not just getting together to have fun. We're actually going to do something today. So we really appreciate you all coming, bringing your energy, bringing your fresh ideas, and helping free patients from the disability and pain that they're experiencing right now. Thank you all very much.